I guess it's good. Hello there. Hello there. Where? Alright, well, I've got chat up here on YouTube. That's great and all, but where on earth did the chat go on Streamlabs? I like that. Alright. I'll let everyone come in. You just, I don't know, talk amongst yourselves while I try to work on... Why isn't... Yeah, it's the Roaring 20s now. I honestly just put that just, because it's the beginning of the decade, but, yeah, the original, the 1920s were known as the Roaring 20s, and now we're back in the 20s, so that's why I called it that. Is Streamlabs just not going to put the chat here in the window? Is that just not going to be a thing? Okay, I can use... That's okay, I can... Oh dear. Where'd it... Okay, that's not happening. Okay, I'll just use the chat on YouTube. That's great. Okay. Means I'm just going to be turning my head over here when I want to look at the chat. That's okay. That's all right. Wonder if we'll get another Great Depression for the 2030s. God, I hope not. That would be something. So, how is everybody doing today? We don't really have any particular thing to discuss. I'm still looking to see if I can put the chat up here on Streamlabs just because it's easier. My day has been pretty good, actually. This is technically a day off for me. I've started to give myself... I'm going to start giving myself weekends off, sort of. Because I'm starting to work in a new schedule. So really, the only thing I'm doing today is this stream for you guys. Other than that, I pretty much have a day off. And yesterday on Saturday, it was sort of the same thing, but I was recording Doctor Who with Dad yesterday. So, because that's pretty much the only time he can do it is on Saturday. So we did that, but that didn't take up the whole day. That was only a few hours. And then, I pretty much had the rest of the day off, and I honestly don't know what to do with myself anymore for a break. Breaks are good, I don't want to hit burnout, but at the same time, it's like, what do I do on break? What does a break mean for me? And, oh god, my freaking green screen effect. My skin is going in and out of existence. So is my hair a little bit. Yeah. Oh well. This green screen effect isn't perfect. True. Next week on YouTube, there won't be any videos. I will upload a video this Saturday to kind of, I don't know, just make it officially said in a video. But yeah, next week we're not doing any videos because I have to sort of shift into a new schedule. So yeah, and that means that this week there's no videos on Patreon. So, and then next week videos will resume on Patreon for early access. It's a whole early access week thing. So yeah, but this week we still have videos. Today's episode of Death Note went up, episode 19, which is Matsuda. Tomorrow we will still have Doctor Who with Dad, and we're going to be reacting to Dalek. We will still have my solo Doctor Who reactions on Wednesday, and that will be Oh, that's going to be Hyde. That's right. Yeah, Hyde will go up, and then Thursday is still My Hero Academia, Shoto Todoroki Origin, and then Friday, Merlin, The Fires of Idirasholas. I think that's how they said it. I could never get that name down. But next week, no videos. We may do streams, but yeah. Next week, no videos, because this week, no videos on Patreon, if that makes any sense. So yeah, let's see here. You waiting for the new episode of Doctor Who? I heard someone say that they couldn't watch the stream because Doctor Who was on right now, which I didn't think about that. I remember, actually, I think it was in 2018 when I did live streams when the last season of Doctor Who was airing, and I was like, oh man, I need to like start these later or something. And same thing here. It's like I might need to start. I might need to do these sort of Sunday streams later if I'm going to be competing with Doctor Who for your views. I don't know. This microphone is kind of dusty, I just realized. So, but yeah, let's see here. Definitely not hung up on the Steven Universe Future hiatus. Hey, at least it's a hiatus, you know. I thought that last episode was going to be it. And I thought that was such a weird way to end the show. But yeah, that, I don't know. Hopefully it's just not a long hiatus, you know. If it's like a couple months, like it'll come back in March or something, that'd be good. But yeah. Yeah, it was interesting how they were airing it. Because when I thought it was just these 10 episodes and then that's it, I was like, okay, so we're just kind of, you know, powering through them all in December. It's like, okay, that's kind of weird. I should say, for anyone who likes my Steven Universe Future reactions, when Steven Universe Future comes back on, I'm gonna move that to being weekly. I'm not gonna do the one a day thing that I did in December. That was just sort of a one-time thing. I don't think I can do that again. Let's see. Was your dad happy that he didn't need to listen to Doctor Who Big Finish anymore? I mean, I don't know. He was okay with it. He honestly, I don't know. There were some people, I remember anytime I posted a new audio review, I got people that were like, you know, Alex, you need to stop torturing your dad with these audio reviews. And just like every time, that would be like the first comment that went up, the first comment someone would post on those videos. And I don't know, it was starting to get to me a little bit. It's like, he is a grown man. He can listen to a few audios if he needs to, you know? So, but yes, he is, he's happy about it. But then, you know, after that, we watched Scream of the Shalka, which was okay. You know, hey, we were back to reactions, but it was such an odd animated episode. But now he is definitely, he really likes these episodes of new Doctor Who that we've been watching. So, like I said, this week, tomorrow, our reaction to the 9th Doctor episode, Dalek, will go up. And then yesterday we recorded a reaction for The Waters of Mars. And both of them he really, really enjoyed. So, yeah, so he's enjoying that. And then, you know, we'll have one 11th Doctor episode, and then we're going to get back to the classics. But he is happy to be doing the modern reactions. Let's see. With how you're feeling about Chris Chibnall's writing, you'll get my view over the show any day. I heard Series 12 was getting better. Or at least, like, you know, last week. Because didn't the first episode air on New Year's Day? I heard people were generally happy with it. And that's all I heard. I didn't hear any spoilers or anything about it. So yeah, that's, I don't know, man. We'll kind of get there when we get there, you know? It just, yeah, honestly, that's just it. We'll get there when we get there. There's really nothing else I can sort of say about it. So yeah, I still think it's crazy that one of the most popular shows on Cartoon Network still can't get on a consistent schedule. Yeah, the Steven bombs really don't work for me with Steven Universe. I never like them, especially because when we wait so long and then we get a bunch of episodes and most of them were filler, that's when I started like sort of disliking the show. And then it's like, then we started to get, more into the diamonds and stuff, and you can say what you will about, change your mind and stuff like that. It's like, hey, at least this is plot related, The worst example, the worst one was in the height of the diamond conflict when they did an episode about Watermelon Steven. Like, because he had to get back to the crystal gems to, like, warn them or something. I don't remember what the point of that was. But he became Watermelon Steven. And we spent an entire episode on Watermelon Steven getting back to Beach City. Oh, that was a god-awful episode. Like, seriously, that was just horrible. So I'm liking that Steven Universe Future is a limited series. It has a limited run because they can't really do that anymore. This is all pretty much plot. I mean, technically you could view some of them as filler, but it's more like we got to get some of these stories out. We only have a limited amount of episodes. So, yeah. To be honest, I lost interest with Doctor Who since last season, but I don't want to spoil anything, just my opinion on it. Hey, man, it's fine. I'm kind of like sort of easing myself into that with Doctor Who, where, with people saying it's like, oh, well, I lost interest after the last season. It's like, yeah, I'm hearing that about the season that I'm on now, I'm hearing that about Series 7. I've gotten a couple people that said, like, oh, well, I'm not going to watch the rest of your reactions to Series 7 because I just don't like Series 7. And they always say, like, it's nothing to do with me. It's about the episodes in general. And I totally understand that, and that's why we have the classic reactions you can go watch. So, yeah. I always find that interesting. Hey, if you lost interest in a season, it's totally fair. I've done that with shows before. I've done that with some shows before that I just kind of lost interest in it. Black Lightning was a good example where after that second season, I just could not care anymore. It was just boring, and it just wasn't going anywhere, which is unfortunate because I hear the third season is really, really good, but I haven't stuck to it. So yeah, maybe I'll pick up Black Lightning again when I can binge watch it. And heck, maybe you guys will wait. Maybe you guys will wait until all of Series 12 of Doctor Who is available and binge it. Or maybe you won't. I don't know. I'm just saying you could. I'm thinking about doing that with Black Lightning. So yeah. Have I seen Naruto? I'm only about 120 episodes in. Thought it'd be a fun show. Maybe. Who knows though. I have not seen Naruto at all. I know a couple reaction channels are actually picking it up. I know that the normies have been watching it, and I know Blind Wave just started it recently. But no, I have not seen Naruto. How long is that show, I wonder? Let me look. Naruto. Let's find out. Manga, anime. 220 episodes. Goodness. Man, that would be crazy if I tried to do a reaction to that. I know, like I said, the normies and Blind Wave, they are. I know that the normies, aren't they doing like 2 episodes a week, I think? Oh god, excuse me. They're doing 2 episodes of Naruto every week, so in theory, it should only take them, 110 weeks? That's around 2 years, isn't it? Because there's 52 weeks in a year. Do that twice, that's 104. So yeah, it would take over maybe like 2 years and 1 month if you do it twice a week. There are some anime like that, or One Piece, where it's like, I've thought about doing those, but there's just so many friggin' episodes, or like Smallville or something, which I know is not an anime, but I'm just trying to say it's a long show. So it shows like that where it's like, oh, those might be interesting to react to, but they're just so long. And I have a slight issue with reactions taking so long on the channel, because to me that takes up a time slot. Right now, a lot of the shows we're watching actually will take a while. Doctor Who Classic is so long. We are steadily catching up to Doctor Who, which is nice, but it's still going to be a complete other year basically before we get. It may be 2022 by the time we finally catch up to where they will be at that point. So that's the thing. And Merlin, I've already calculated that Merlin should end in October, and at that point I should have finished season 3 of My Hero Academia, and they're on season 4 right now, and it's going. So My Hero Academia right now is the longest show that we have. It's rivaling Doctor Who on when it's going to end. Death Note, I know, is going to end in May. I only have about 17 episodes left. Was it 17 or is it 8? It's 17 or 18. I'm on episode 20 of 37. So I've already figured out that that's going to end in May. That's pretty good. So I do sort of pick shows to go on the Patreon polls depending on how long they are. If they're really, really long, I don't know if I'm quite ready to make that sort of a commitment, So things like Naruto or One Piece especially, where it's there's 800 episodes. It's I don't think I can do that. So yeah, it's tricky. And, you have to think about, okay, well, how many people would want to watch these reactions, and, how long will people stay with these reactions, especially if you're starting at episode 1 of 200 and, they kind of... with every reaction series, and this is not a fault on you guys or anything, I totally understand why people say this, but it's always you have to, the viewers always want you to get to a certain episode. With every show, basically they want you to get to a certain point. Right now in My Hero Academia, I have people that tell me, oh, I can't wait for you to get into season 3. It's so great. I'm in the middle of season 2, Or on Merlin, Merlin's the exact same thing, Oh, and when you get later into the show, it gets really, really good. I'm sitting back here in season 2. I'm having a blast, But it's just that, trying to put in that amount of commitment for each show, it's it can get a little hard when these shows start getting longer and longer and longer. Which is why on the reaction poll, on the live action poll right now on Patreon, which if you haven't voted, go vote in that. You got less than 4 hours before those two polls end on Patreon. Oh wait, this is this hand. Yeah. Oh, it's because I've been pressing my wrist against my on my desk. That's why that happened. So. What was I saying? Oh, on the live action poll, I think most of these are pretty short, actually. I know Sherlock is really, really short. I was surprised the first time I saw how long Sherlock was, and it's 3 or 4 episodes per season. It's oh, okay. I don't Vikings, I think, is 6 seasons long. Spartacus, I think, is a couple seasons. Black Sails. Westworld, I think, is only 2 seasons at this point, and I would have 5 seasons of... No. I think I have 4 seasons of Breaking Bad because I already did the first season. The Walking Dead, however, which is currently taking 3rd place on the live action poll, The Walking Dead, isn't that just a ton of episodes? And I thought about that, but it is a series people demand, So it's... I don't know. It's this constant thing, that I worry about. I don't know if other people worry about, other reactors worry about it, but I always stop and think, okay, how long am I going to do this? Because another thing with the reactor is they want to try to keep things, fresh, and I find one of my biggest problems is that sometimes I just sort of stagnate on the channel. Not that my commentary or anything gets dull or anything, but it's the fact that sometimes I will just have the block of shows that I'm doing, which is kind of what is happening right now. I have the block of shows that I'm doing, and I am not going to do anything new for a very long time, So I've been in sort of a block right now where it's like, okay, I have Death Note, My Hero Academia, Merlin, Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, and I've been reacting to all those, and it's all been great. We've all had fun on these videos, but I have been just reacting to those shows for months. I kind of want some new stuff. Not that I don't want to watch what I'm watching, but I also want to try to do some new stuff, get some people in. Which honestly is part of the reason why I did Steven Universe Future. It was a new thing, it sort of broke up what I was doing on the channel, and so that's why I've implemented like 3 new reactions. Actually, we're doing 4. Starting by the end of January, we're gonna have 4 new shows. 3 of which are being voted on right now. So we'll have the 1 new anime and the 2 new live action shows that are currently being voted on Patreon, and then I'm actually taking a time slot for myself, which I haven't mentioned this to anyone. I haven't said this to anyone yet, but I am actually taking a 4th time slot for myself where I get to choose what I watch, basically. So shows that I want to watch that may or may not get voted on. Now, with that said, the first show that I'm going to watch in that time slot, which this is going to be the Saturday slot. So Saturday at 12 p.m. is when that's basically what I'm calling my personal time slot, where I choose the shows that I react to. Whereas everything else, except I guess Doctor Who, I chose that one too. But every other time slot is basically voted on by the patrons. But this one I'm choosing for myself, basically. And the first thing that I'm going to react to is The Mandalorian, actually. So, because I haven't seen that yet, and I wanted to react to it. I wanted to react to it when it first came out, but I just did not have the time because I was still in school. But that's going to be the first one. Now, granted, The Mandalorian could have won a poll, but I just want to, add that to the personal time slot. Just start with that, basically. So yeah, we're going to add 4 new shows. And, the other thing is, after The Mandalorian, after those 8 episodes, we're going to have a new show. If Sherlock wins the poll, the live action poll, which it's pretty obvious that it is, it's got a huge lead right now, after a certain amount of time, because it's only so many episodes long, like I said, maybe 3 or 4 episodes per season, then we're going to have another poll, and we're going to put something else in there, So yeah, it's just this constant thing of, like, I have these series that I'm watching, but I also want new stuff to be mixed in there. And the best way that I'm doing that right now is going to be the personal time slot, because it's all just going to be, pretty much just random shows that I want to watch. And for the most part, they're pretty short. There's one of them that is a little long. It would probably take, maybe 6 months-ish to get through. But I might break that one up because it's technically like 3 shows in one. But they're all like short, so I might like break them up, put something else in between. But it's just this constant thing of I do want to keep bringing in fresh new series to react to, but at the same time, I do need to react to the series I'm reacting to, So it's just this constant back and forth. I don't know if we really need. I don't know how much you guys wanted me to go into that, but I did for your enjoyment. Now let me see if I can catch up on some of these. Do you edit your own videos? Yes, I do. I do edit my own videos. All of them, which is pretty crazy. It's gonna get a little crazier, actually. But yeah, it's all me. I am a one-man crew completely. It would be nice to have an editor, but I couldn't pay an editor, I couldn't afford an editor, basically. I can barely afford to, just do this as a job. So yeah, let's see. Lately I've been looking online for if Doctor Who was canceled in 1989 after Seven's run. To be honest, with everything online, theories, it would have been awesome if it had continued into the 90s. Yeah. It would have been interesting if it came back in the 90s. I think it was just... I think people have told me the reason why it was canceled was honestly just because like, I guess some of the executives at the BBC just did not like Doctor Who. I thought that's something I heard, and then it definitely could have come back if the movie was more successful, but and again, that's at least kind of what I heard. So yeah. The amount of episodes is probably too daunting and kind of makes you feel like you're stuck into doing reactions for that long when you could be doing other things. And it's not that, the thing is, it's not that it's not that I don't want to do these reactions. Not at all. I love doing these reactions, but I do want to try to keep some things fresh while also keeping the series that I'm doing. It's this odd, like, level of concern that I have, you know? If one of your concerns is commitment to shows, would you ever consider doing more movie reactions? Yes, actually. Initially for the polls, I was going to start, I guess sort of like how Blind Wave does it, movie night reactions. Except instead of going up on Saturday when they do it, I would do it on Wednesday, and it would go up with Doctor Who, I think. Yes, I have thought of doing more movie reactions. I wasn't quite ready to do it just now. I think I'm going to try to implement that more in February, and I think I'm going to start with like my own, like, I will choose the first movie, and then we'll kind of go from there maybe. But yes, I would consider doing, and I think movie reactions would also be good, a good way of keeping things fresh, because that's a new thing pretty much every week, you know? Well, not every week. I did think that if I was going to do it, I would do it every other week. So, yeah. Let's see. Demanding fans waiting for episodes and constantly asking for episodes to be reacted to sucks for everyone. That's true. Yeah. And it's not the worst. You know, sometimes when it's just like, oh man, I can't wait till you get into the, you know, the later seasons because they're so good. It's like, okay, well, I can understand that. It's not, I guess it's when those comments come up and people say like, hey, can you start doing more episodes a week? Like, no, I cannot. Like, I only did that. I've only done that twice where I've had to do, well, I've done that occasionally where I have to do multiple episodes in 1 week. For the first time was with the Sarah Jane Adventures, but that was more just to line it up with Doctor Who. The second time was Game of Thrones, when Game of Thrones went to 3 episodes a week because I wanted to get through it faster. And on the one hand, that was good because I got through it in July, you know? I got through Game of Thrones in July because I think it would have ended in October if I had just kept it to 1 a week. The problem is I do feel like if I do it for some series, then then it sort of opens the floodgates of, oh, well, you should do it for all of them, you know? Which is why, you know, I said when Steven Universe Future returns, it's going back to 1 a week. You know, I'm not doing this, you know, 5 a week or whatever I did, you know, once a day. I'm not doing that anymore because I can't do that. And I don't want to do that, you know? And it does let things last a little while. And I know I just went on this whole big tangent about keeping things fresh and, you know, how long series are. But sometimes I do like things to stick around. I love, actually, that there is a whole lot more Merlin I get to watch and a whole lot more, you know, My Hero Academia and Doctor Who. It's like I have so much more, you know, good shows to watch, you know, because I already love Merlin and Doctor Who and My Hero Academia. It's like I have so much more. This is going to last me a while, you know. It's just that I would also like to keep things fresh. So it's just this constant back and forth, you know. Like, if I had some stuff that was constantly being fresh, like the movie reactions, like you suggested, or, you know, shorter series like The Mandalorian and stuff, where it's like, okay, I go in, I watch it, but then after 8 weeks, The Mandalorian will end and I will move on to something else, you know? So it is sort of this back and forth on it. But yeah. Let's see. Okay, I'm not sure how you are with horror stuff, but I know that American Horror Story seasons 1 through 4 would be good. It's a well-liked show with little to no reaction. American Horror Story. Okay, American Horror Story. Here's my question for you then. Is it jump scares? That's what I want to know. Like, and if it is, that's okay. Like, are they just like constantly jump scares, or is it more like Stranger Things? Because Stranger Things did have like the occasional jump scare, but it was more sort of creepy scary. That would be my question to you. Otherwise, because that's the thing, I hate jump scares. Now, granted, they are actually kind of funny when I do these reactions, you know, because sometimes I'll go grab a pillow and I'll like hide behind it, and then you know something pops out and I go, it's a big reaction and stuff. But yeah, so maybe let me know about American Horror Story. Maybe I'll consider it for a future poll. We could put that on the poll after Sherlock. Again, assuming Sherlock wins, which, by the way, to once again mention, we do still have two power polls up on Patreon. If you have not voted in those, we have the poll for the 2 live action shows, where first place will take Sundays in conjunction with Death Note, and then the next one, the second place winner, will start going on Tuesdays. And our current leads are Sherlock, which has a very large lead, and in second place currently is Breaking Bad from season 2 onward. So if you have not voted in that, you can go vote for that. And we also have the anime poll that's currently up. Excuse me. The anime poll for the new anime series that will go up on Thursdays alongside My Hero Academia. Our current lead, and it's a decent lead, but our current lead is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and yeah, you can go vote for anything basically. So, where was I? So yeah, tell me about American Horror Story. I will possibly consider it. The BBC just lost interest in Doctor Who and canceled it completely, but it would have had a more dark gothic atmosphere. That's interesting. More about Gallifrey. Yeah. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Metropolis movie reactions, I hope. Actually, if you saw in the thumbnail for this live stream, you know, because I put the new Roaring Twenties, I did put Dr. Caligari in the thumbnail. And I did think about doing a reaction to it in February, because in February, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari turns 100 years old. Now, I've already seen the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and I did an entire video on it, a 7HF Super episode, that's how you say words, and you can go check that out. It's actually a really great video. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, I could definitely do that. Metropolis, I've had people request Metropolis before, so yeah, I could do that one too. Because I think that's 1927, but close enough. It's the 20s. You said your personal reaction choice is The Mandalorian, so I take it you've seen most of the recent Star Wars films. How do you feel about that trilogy? The media is tearing it apart. Okay, so the new... I'm assuming you mean episodes 7, 8, and 9. They're okay. I do like them. Force Awakens, pretty decent. You know, yes, it is a lot of repeat of A New Hope, but I do like it. I like all the characters, and I don't think like anyone was giving a bad performance or anything. So I did like it. The Last Jedi, I liked about half of it. Anything to do with Luke, Rey, and Kylo Ren, I thought was fantastic. Everything else with, you know, Poe and Holdo and Finn and Rose on, you know, Canto Bight, I didn't care for that. And I like, you know, Poe, Finn, and Rose. I do like those characters. But it was very clear that they just needed a subplot. They needed a side quest to go on. And it was such a long side quest that it kind of, you know, hampers the movie a bit. But yeah, anything with Luke, Rey, and Kylo Ren, I thought was brilliant. And then Rise of Skywalker, I liked it. I was entertained, but boy, does it have its problems. But it's sort of like the end of Game of Thrones, even though I think this is better than the final 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. The Rise of Skywalker is kind of like okay, that was satisfying enough that I can, just move on, basically. Which is kind of what I said about the end of Game of Thrones, where I was like, okay, good enough, decent enough ending. Does it have problems? Of course it does, but I will take it. And best part of Rise of Skywalker is that opening montage of Kylo Ren, which, okay, no spoilers. We're not going to go into spoilers here for Rise of Skywalker, but that opening, when there's a shot. This is you see this in the trailer. There's a shot where he gets out of his ship, and as he's walking, he just ignites his lightsaber. It is the most badass Kylo Ren moment of all. Like, he is out for blood in that scene. So overall, the new trilogy is okay. It's okay. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's spectacular or anything. As for the solo movies, actually, the Star Wars stories, Rogue One was pretty good. The characters were kind of meh, but overall that was okay. And I really did like Solo. I thought Solo was a ton of fun, and I kind of wish they would do more of that. But yeah, for the most part with Star Wars, I'm just kind of sticking to the shows. Clone Wars, Rebels was amazing. Resistance is okay. It has its good moments, but it has its lower moments. And yeah, I have yet to see The Mandalorian. So, but I hear everything's good. All I know is Baby Yoda, because there's no escaping that on the internet. So yeah. American Horror Story is just so poorly written. IMO, just awful. Aww. Jump scares are more prevalent in season 1 as the show was finding its feet, but the rest of the seasons are more psychological horror, and it's creepy. I'll add that each season of American Horror Story is like a Doctor Who series, 13 episodes. I like that. I like these shows that are like 13 episode seasons. Like, okay, that's good. We can tell a concise story in a short amount of time. So, okay, maybe I'll think about American Horror Story. I might leave that one up to the polls. And so it will be up to the people to decide, basically. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting indeed. Okay, so ever seen a horror anime? No, I don't think I have. I haven't actually watched a ton of anime, which is kind of why I keep doing reactions for them, is because I want to get into it more. My hair is just going to completely mess up. Which side is that? This side there. This image is mirrored on my computer, so I keep forgetting like which side is which. But yeah, I was not. I don't know too much anime. I know Yu-Gi-Oh. I know some of Pokemon and stuff like Beyblade, Bunny Girl Senpai, and yeah, Death Note and My Hero Academia, and I guess soon JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, unless that gets dethroned at the last second. So, Mandalorian is the way to go with the Star Wars franchise. Nice, simple stories that don't get overly involved. Well, yeah, I mean, and especially because, there's a plan. There is a plan with these, with the show and stuff like that. There's one of the biggest things about the new trilogy is that there was not a plan. And that is their biggest downfall, is that there was absolutely no plan when it came to those movies. Which they should have had a plan. Why didn't they have a fucking plan, So, yeah, they need a guy. They need a guy to, keep the story straight and stuff. So, because it's clear in Rise of Skywalker that they're backtracking on some things from The Last Jedi. Not everything. They kind of keep, like, the Force powers, the new Force powers, I know. I think every Force power was, like, in a game or EU at some point. But they keep, like, some of the Force powers and, like, the connection, the Force connection between Rey and Kylo Ren. So, yeah. I don't know. But they definitely needed a plan, so... horror anime is interesting. Okay, man, I don't know. Personally can't stand anime. Oh no. That's fine. It's not for everyone. That's interesting. Just anime as a genre. I mean, hey, if that's your preference, then that's your preference. But yeah, that is interesting. Just no anime. All right, it's fine, honestly. You were hooked as soon as you heard they were bringing back Boba Fett. They are? Wait, are they? Man. All right. Well, okay. Here's a controversial hot take. I think Boba Fett is lame, honestly. Now, that being said, I know nothing about Boba Fett in the EU. I hear he got really, really good, but it's just, from what I have seen, which I will admit is very limited. So he was in Empire Strikes Back. He was in Return of the Jedi. You're entitled to that wrong opinion. Oh, that's fine. I'm sure he's fine, in the expanded universe, but from what I've seen, I never got it. I've heard people that say it's like, oh, when you see him, even just in Empire Strikes Back, he's just so cool looking, and it's like, I guess I was always focused on Darth Vader, though. Like, I was like, why do I need to care about, like, I never thought Boba Fett was really cool looking. I mean, yeah, his design is kind of interesting, but when you put him next to Darth Vader, I didn't really care. And then when he's in the Clone Wars, it is Clone Wars, like, almost at its worst. Well, I mean, some stuff in Clone Wars gets worse with, like, Clovis or Krell. I hated those episodes, but when he, like, had his little gang or whatever, and there's one episode where, like, I guess Asajj Ventress tries to, like, join their gang or something, and she's, like, being snarky because she is, and they're like, hey, you mess with Boba, you mess with all of us. It's like, what the fuck? What has he done to earn your respect? I'm sorry, I'm about to, like, launch into a tangent about Boba Fett. Hey, if they bring back Boba Fett, that sounds pretty good, actually, because, hey, they can actually show me why he's so friggin' cool, But for right now, I don't care about Boba Fett. I never really liked Boba Fett. But yeah, but yes, I am entitled to my wrong opinion. Hey, they just need to change my mind. Show me a really cool Boba Fett, and I'll get behind him. That's kind of why when they announced the Mandalorian, and it's like, oh, it's just a Mandalorian. It's not Boba Fett. And it's like, well, you could have had Boba Fett, though. You could have made him cool for me. But, I don't know. Rise of Skywalker was just one big exercise in damage limitations from the previous movie. Disney. And, I don't know, I've heard some things like what the original Rise of Skywalker was supposed to be before Disney started meddling in, like, J.J. Abrams' ideas. And man, that even sounds more interesting. Like it had the son. It had, like, Matt Smith as the son, from Mortis. I don't know. Let's see. I find it funny that George Lucas gets $4 billion from Disney for Star Wars, but they can do it so poorly that they are asking for him back to oversee the making of the newer ones. Okay, you don't need to get George back. You can. It's totally fine if they want to, but here's what I always say. They need Dave Filoni to be in charge because he does all the he's been doing the animated shows. He's done Clone Wars, Rebels, and I think he's doing Resistance too. And he was also, I think, involved in The Mandalorian with Jon Favreau. So honestly, like, if they okay, what they need is a Kevin Feige. They need a Kevin Feige from Marvel to, keep everything together, keep everything in line. And the best way to do that, as my hand sort of glitches out of existence, the best way to do that is Dave Filoni, because the guy knows what he's doing. All of Rebels was planned, by the way. If you've seen Rebels, you know that at one point, Kanan goes blind. And I heard a thing where it's like, Dave Filoni told the voice actor, Freddie Prinze Jr., that Kanan was going to go blind from, like, day one. He was like, look, We're not quite sure when it's going to happen, but definitely Kanan is going to go blind at some point during this show. And then they did it, Like, he had a plan for Rebels. And it was great, I love Rebels. So, let's see. Boba Fett is just cool looking. But see, in Empire, I was more concerned about Darth Vader. And okay, in, Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader's not there at the beginning. But then I'm just so bored because I'm sitting through Jabba's palace, which is a boring part of that movie. It drags on forever. If it was like half as long as it was, it might be better. But for the most part, Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi is just boring. So yeah, I never got into Boba Fett. But hey, if they bring him back and they make him cool, then I'm on board. They let him do something, basically. Like, he never did anything, really cool. Like, freaking in Cloud City, I guess he showed up, to the dinner or something. But Vader was there. And, he's blocking, Han's laser blasts. That it's like, why? I don't care about Boba Fett because Darth Vader is there. I'm more concerned with Darth Vader. The Mandalorian is cool. Boba Fett, not so much. Interesting. Boba Fett is like the newer Star Wars movies. Looks good, little substance. Damn. Oh, man. Hey, I liked Solo, though. Solo of these 5 is my favorite. I really did like Solo. And it's not great or anything. It's not even like the greatest story. I just had fun, It's just a fun Star Wars story, One redeeming quality of The Rise of Skywalker is that it still uses the OG musical score. They know they can't ever one-up John Williams. That's true. Even though I believe Williams doesn't do Rogue One or Solo, and I thought those were fine. But I think I heard that John Williams is done with Star Wars now. Like, Rise of Skywalker was his last one. If they really wanted the damage control for Last Jedi, and I guess I kind of understand, even though I think The Last Jedi was really good, they should have just done 2 movies. Like, instead of cramming everything into episode 9, they should have done an episode 10, Like, okay, just do 2 movies. I know that sort of, it breaks our trilogy format, but screw it. Just have, like, Rise of Skywalker Part 1, Rise of Skywalker Part 2. Just do it, Just do it. Then we could have a better, concise story, Show me why Palpatine is back. Don't just put it in the fucking text scroll. Oh, okay. Well, we've been going about 48 minutes. I think we can keep going, though, for a little while. That's what I love about the score on The Mandalorian. It's not trying to be the poor man's John Williams, but goes its own way to much success. All right, good to know. I look forward to that, then. I will, let's see. So, if The Mandalorian is going to be on Saturdays, I think I'm going to record the first episode on Wednesday. So, yeah, there's something to look forward to. Whew. Ow. I don't know if you guys heard that. My neck just cracked. Oh. I agree with you. I agree with what you said about the subplots in The Last Jedi. It went from super interesting to rich people are bad. The Last Jedi, like, that subplot is just so boring. And I like Finn. I like Rose. I like Poe. But all of that, and it was just so long. And especially when it's like, oh, well, we have to do this because we can't get Maz Kanata to break the code for the slowest chase in space history. And it's like, why? Just go get Maz. Why couldn't we just write Maz Kanata is doing this, Why did we have to take her out of the movie, basically? It's like, that entire subplot it just sucks. But that entire movie is redeemed by everything, and I mean everything, with Luke, Rey, and Kylo Ren. The three of them are incredible. You know? And their performances are great. So, but yeah, it was like, I don't know, horses, whatever. And DJ with his stutter, which was just annoying. I'm glad he didn't come back in Rise of Skywalker. I'm glad he's gone. I like that Phasma's gone too. It's like, all right, enough of her. She's honestly, she really is the new Boba Fett, by the way. I remember when Force Awakens was coming out, and it's like, oh my gosh, Phasma, she's like the new Boba Fett. And it's like, yeah, she is the new Boba Fett because she sucks. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. If you guys got any more questions, you can go ahead and ask them. We probably won't keep going a whole lot longer, but we can go for a bit more. Who do you ship more, regardless of Arthurian legend? Lancelot and Gwen, or Arthur and Gwen? Well, I guess that's a tricky question. That is a bit of a tricky question, because you know, you would think like, oh, well, Lancelot's a better man, but it's like, well, Arthur's a really good man too, you know? Maybe Arthur. Maybe Arthur, if only because she would be good for him, and he has like no one else. Sorry, I'm kind of getting some dust off my keyboard here. Maybe Arthur, just because honestly, like, he needs her. He needs her more than Lancelot does, honestly. It's like she would be such a guiding light for him. Which, if you've seen my Merlin reactions, you know, I'm always like, oh, all these sorcerers, they're gambling on Arthur and stuff. And it would be a better gamble if, yeah, he had that sort of guiding light with him. So, with the news that Studio Ghibli, is it Ghibli or Ghibli? I don't know. I think I heard Ghibli. Have 2 new movies in the works for a 2021 release. What is your opinion on the studio and its movies? What have they made? I know the studio name, but I don't know what exactly they've done. Let me see. Castle in the Sky. I've seen that. I don't think I've seen a lot of these. Like, I haven't seen like Princess Mononoke, or Spirited Away. Actually, I think the only one I've seen is Castle in the Sky, and that was a while back. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't, or was it Howl's Moving Castle? I don't remember. It was one of those. It might have been Castle in the Sky, but I don't remember. No, I haven't seen a lot of these. Well, hey, we'll put those on the movie night reactions. So, yeah, that'd be interesting. That's cool if they're still doing stuff. So, Finn is played by a great little actor, and in my opinion, they completely wasted him. I think Rise of Skywalker was a bit better for him. Okay, best thing that Rise of Skywalker could do was they kept the trio. Like, they actually had, well, first off, they had a trio, because that was the problem. That was the problem, is that, you know, Rey and Poe only meet in, you know, at the end of The Last Jedi, but the fact that for the most part it was the trio of Rey, Finn, and Poe, I thought that was great. Yes, they could have given Finn more to do in The Rise of Skywalker, you could say, but I thought in Rise of Skywalker the 3 of them were great. They were a great trio. You sound very stiff and bone cracky a little bit. My throat's getting a little dry. My voice is getting a little hoarse. Getting a little hoarse doing this live stream. So, Yeah. I don't know. I am a little stiff. This chair is not that great for me. I can sort of feel it in my back. Yeah, I need to. I need to play some Ring Fit Adventure. I got Ring Fit Adventure for Christmas this year, and that's a barrel and a half. It's fun, but damn, is it intense? And I've got it on like a low difficulty too, and I need it. I wanted it because you can look at me. I'm a portly gentleman, and I would like to lose some weight here. So yeah. So I am kind of stiff and bone cracky, yes. But I do that voluntarily. I do all that voluntarily. So okay. Oh boy. So let's see. It's been close to an hour. I think we can go like another 10-15 minutes and then we'll wrap things up. I've had fun. Hope you guys have had fun. So yeah, if you guys got any more questions or topics of conversation, we can definitely talk about that. I could give you guys a slight preview of things to come. Let me load this up. Okay, I think I'm looking around here. I'm on my video schedule spreadsheet that I have. I'm gonna look around and see, is there anything? I think this is pretty good if I showed it to you guys. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a slight preview of what I'm doing soon. So, I guess I kind of need to move over here. Can you see all this? Yeah, you can see I've got other tabs up here and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, Dad, what are you doing here? Oh man. Anyway, so we've got the schedule here if you guys want to see. So Death Note, that's where the next series is going to go. Doctor Who Classic, if you want to look at that. I need to take out Steven Universe Future because we're done with that. That series, I don't know. Here's just a little preview. I guess this is sort of the, I don't know. There's a look at that. I didn't plan that out, so there you go. Okay. Dad, what on earth are you doing in this live stream? All right, am I going to address the Roaring '20s controversy? You mean the controversy where you're wrong and that's just that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're here. Okay, the controversy is that Dad says that the decade does not start now, basically. That the decade did not start with 2020. And so technically it's still the 2010s. But he's wrong. He also says that the century started at 2001, and could I make it a bit bigger? Oh, the schedule. We'll look at it a bit. We could look at it again in a bit. But yeah, so technically, Dad says it's not the Roaring '20s. He is of course wrong, because it's 2020, 20s. It's the 20s, And we have been arguing about this. And see, now we've reversed it to where he's bringing it up to bug me. Normally, I bring it up to bug him. And it's funny, because it's funny to bug him. But now, and he's bringing up the whole, there is no year zero, And you count from 1 to 10. He's bringing it all up. I heard him laughing in the other room, too. I hear it. I can hear it. This is a thin door. I can hear that. So, yeah. So he can go on about that if he wants, but it's the 20s. It just is, It just is the 20s. So, I don't know what to tell you, man. Do I have a favorite 2019 meme? I don't know. I'm not up to date on memes or when they came out. So, on a CD compilation of the 90s, the year 2000 is not included. Well, there's also the case that, okay, let's say someone was born in 1970. Let's just pick an arbitrary date, November 13th, 1970. Do you say they were born in the 1960s? No. You say they were born in the 70s because they were born in 1970. So, oh boy. So yeah, that is the controversy. That must be a nightmare to live with. Kind of is. But see, normally it's reversed, where I bug him about it. But now he has invaded my live stream to bug me about it. So now, it's the Roaring 20s. And we're going to argue about that until the sun explodes. And I can hear him. I can hear him laughing. I hear him laughing in the other room at this. I hear you. Anyway. Someone wanted the video schedule to be a bit bigger. We can... No. Oh, yes. There. That's about as big as I can get it. And I can just sort of scooch over here. I hope that's a bit better. The only thing is I can't see the chat anymore. So yeah. Death Note. Most likely Sherlock is going to take here. Because again... we have Sherlock taking a major lead over here. We've got all the Doctor Who classics, so we've got all this, Doctor's Wife, 3 Doctors, 5 Doctors, all that stuff, all those. It still says Steven Universe Future here, but that's going to be taken over most likely by Breaking Bad, unless things change in the next 3 hours. We've got Doctor Who. My schedule for Doctor Who, mainly all the solos. Although I believe this will probably have Dad too. We've got My Hero Academia, which is pretty basic. This will most likely be taken over by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, unless that changes in a few hours. Merlin, pretty good right there. We have the current shows that... this is not a particular day, but this is where I'm going to put in any shows that are currently airing. So next up is going to be Star Trek Picard when that comes out, and we're thinking that'll be me and Dad. And then over here on Saturday, we've got the personal time slot, which currently is The Mandalorian. And after The Mandalorian, everything is subject to change. But right now, I believe this is Dracula. This is Good Game, the Game Grumps show. And then down here is like Helsing and everything. So yeah, that is that. I'm going to swap this back over to review and get myself better situated over here. I was agreeing with you. Yeah. Burn the Unbeliever. Oh, God. Oh, boy, oh, boy. So, okay. We have talked a lot on this stream about various different topics. We talked about reactions and new reaction series and keeping things fresh on the channel. We talked a lot about Star Wars. We talked about how Boba Fett sucks and I am entitled to my wrong opinion. We talked about Merlin ships or Arthurian legend ships. We talked about American Horror Story. We talked about Naruto. We talked about Studio Ghibli. And we talked about how Dad is wrong. And I think that's gonna be it for this stream. We've been going for over an hour, so yeah. That is pretty much it for this live stream. Tune back in next Sunday. We'll do another one of these, I guess, and maybe find some more specific topics to talk about. But yeah, we will definitely see. So yeah, that is pretty much that, and I will see you guys later. Take care. Now I'm going to I'm going to sit here for a sec while before I hit end stream. So, yeah. Bye-bye.